Hi, my name is Listiner Inspires, and I am looking to change the narrative of what trauma and abuse looks like. From shame, silence, and stigma to support and solutions. From hopelessness and rejection to healing and recovery. How do I plan on doing that? By bringing awareness that the problem that goes with not talking about what you've been through, not addressing it, not only affects that individual, but it affects us as a community. It affects us as a society. Hey y'all, it's Listiner Inspires coming at you live with your Teach, Lead, and Heal teaching series. Thank you y'all for tuning in. Whether you are catching it live or the replay, whether you are tuning in on my YouTube channel, Facebook, LinkedIn, or you're listening into the Healing Soul Wounds podcast, I do not take your time lightly. So thank you so much for tuning in. We have started a new year, and so I try to be consistent with sticking to the theme or the topic geared around healing. And so towards the end of last year, the Lord had given me like 6 weeks of teachings from the scripture Jeremiah 29:11, which talks about hope, future, and the plans that the Lord has for us. So this year, I'm excited because I'm going to get back into it with teaching the 12 steps to living beyond trauma and starting to heal and starting to walk out your healing journey. And so I have 12 points that I'll be talking through. Each month will be a different topic, and that topic will be broken down in 4-week sections. I have sent out the list of topics to those that are in my email list, my newsletter subscriber list. So if you are not part of my email list, definitely you want to do that because they get all the good stuff ahead of time with more details and all that. And so go to my website at listinerinspires.com, and there will be a pop-up, and you could and they'll say, enter your email to subscribe to be a part of the Rebel community. And you can just put your email in there. There's also, if you scroll down to the bottom of the website, you will see where it's a box that allows you to put your email in. So you'll be able to get all the updates, everything that's happening. I will have a lot of stuff happening this year, and a lot of it I will not be posting on my social media page. It will be exclusively for those who are part of my email list. And so you definitely want to be a part of that. And so for those of you who are tuning in who may not know who I am, which you should by now, but if you don't, let me tell you who I be. Okay? I am the Listiner Inspires. I am an award-winning author. I am an author of 5 published books. I'm also a healing and recovery accountability expert speaker, as well as coach and workshop facilitator. I am also the owner of Rock Your Rebel creative collaborative consulting company, where I combine creative strategies, creative designs, and creative content to help those who are in ministry, who have ministries, they're ministers, or individuals who have a vision that they've been given by God. They want and they need help to take it further, and I partner with them to bring that vision to life. And so I'm excited about today, this whole week's teaching, honestly, not just today. I'm excited about the teaching. I'm excited about what we will be discussing. And so we're going to just kick it off with the beginning of your healing. How many of you know what starts healing? Like the journey of healing, where does it begin? It begins when you it's a 2-part answer. First, it begins when you make a conscious decision, an intentional decision that you want to no longer live in the pain of your past. That's the first thing. The second thing is once you made the decision to be intentional about moving beyond the trauma and the pain of your past, or even if it's not even your past, maybe it's recent, but moving beyond that into a space of healing, then the very, very first step is to start forgiving. What does that look like? Because you might think, the wound may be fresh. You might be saying, well, this has happened to me this year. This year just began. I hope nothing bad has happened to you this year. But Nevertheless, whether it just happened recently, whether the wound of what you've gone through is still fresh, whether it's something that happened years ago, we have to, it's a must. Let me repeat it again. It is a must that we do not allow unforgiveness of what was done to us settle into our beings, settle into our hearts, into our spirits. Because what happens is, it's like someone pouring gasoline in your favorite drink. It's no longer viable. If you drink it, it's poison. You probably die. And that is what unforgiveness is in our bodies, in our lives. It's like drinking poison. It's like you taking the poison from someone else's hand and making the decision to drink it. That is what unforgiveness is. And I know that's probably, you may be thinking that's a really harsh analogy, but that's the reality of when we don't forgive those who've done things to us, when we hold on to the hurt and the pain of what they've done, because either we made a decision that I'll never forgive them what they done, I'll never forget it. And let me be very clear. In no way am I saying what was done to you is invalid, that you don't have a reason to be hurt by it, that it was not wrong, because it is. If you've been hurt, it's wrong for anyone to hurt you. So I am not saying in no way, form, shape, or fashion that when you decide to forgive, all is well. But what I am saying is when you choose to not forgive, there's a less likely chance that all will ever be well the way you want it to, because there will always be the toxicity of unforgiveness flowing in your life. So there are three parts. There's the triple A's to forgiveness. This is the steps that I coined a few years ago when I was doing the Healing is a Journey Core League series of conferences. And be on the lookout, because I will be doing those again. Healing is a Journey will look a little different. It is now a ministry, and so it will look a little different as the Lord leads. I will let you guys know. Yes. Have to put that out there. But in my time of just understanding, studying, and just really getting to, like, even me walking my own healing out, my own journey of healing out, understanding like how the 3-step process of healing. I'm pretty sure that you probably can add more steps, but when I look at these 3 steps, the triple A's of forgiveness, it's very important and intricate that all 3 of these steps are done. Number 1, acknowledge. You have to acknowledge that what's happened to you. You have to acknowledge the things, the people, and the circumstances that have hurt you. Now, when I say acknowledge, I don't mean, continue to live in the past. I don't mean continue to live from a space of being hurt or in pain. I mean, sometimes, myself included, we often don't want to bring up what happened, because we call ourselves letting it go, right? We call ourselves moving past it. But just because you don't want to acknowledge that something happened to you, doesn't mean that it did not happen. Acknowledging it is you taking back control from that situation, from that occurrence, and saying, yes, this happened to me. Yes, it was wrong. Yes, it hurt. But the pain, the past, the trauma, the abuse will no longer hold you hostage. That's the first part of the triple A's of forgiveness. The second A is accept the forgiveness you need by letting go. Again, let me be clear. Letting go does not absolve someone of what they've done to me. It does not make what they did to you right. It doesn't how do I say that? It doesn't mean that what they did to you is excusable, that it was okay, that you can even be back close with this person ever again. So you can forgive someone and you don't have to talk to them anymore. You can forgive and move on. You can forgive and no longer be in any type of relationship or close proximity to them. Forgiveness is letting go of the knife that you're holding on from the sharp end. Think about that. The last A on the triple A of forgiveness is act in faith. What does that mean? When you act in faith, you move on, a, a move beyond the trauma and the abuse by actively working and on your healing journey. Now, I'm going to go into these three triple A's of forgiveness in detail over the next 3 weeks. I wanted to just kind of give you guys the overall umbrella of topics so you can understand what we're going to talk about. Make sure you should already have it today, your pen and paper, because knowledge nuggets are always being dropped at any time. The next point I want to make is that forgiveness is also new beginnings. There's a freeing that happens inside when you're able to say, I forgive them. And let me also make this clear. You don't necessarily have to call that person up and say, I forgive you. When I made the decision to forgive the individuals that raped me when I was 13, I never talked to any of them. I never saw them again. I wouldn't even know what they look like now because I was so young. I don't, but I made a decision to forgive them because I knew that if I didn't, I would constantly be living in the pain of what happened to me. And I can't go back and fix what happened. When I made the decision to forgive my mother, it was first out of obedience to God, and secondly, knowing that she did to me what was done to her. It was a toxic cycle of abuse that went from generation to generation. And honestly, when you choose to forgive, you're also breaking that cycle of walking in pain, living in shame. And so sometimes when people hurt us, it's not intentional. There are times when people hurt us because they themselves have been hurt, and that's all they don't know how to do or be is someone that hurts others. And it's not often intentional. The words they say, their actions, sometimes it's not even about you, it's just how they move, and you just happen to be a bystander or of what they've experienced and how they move, and now you've gotten hurt. And so whether the pain you experienced was intentional or unintentional, the forgiveness should happen all the same. The forgiveness does not discredit that what you experienced has happened and it hurts you, but what it does do is take away the shame that sometimes comes with having our rights, our lives, our bodies violated, our space compromised, our trust misused. And so when you're able to start healing, you're able to make room, first of all, for God to do a new thing in your life. And you're also able to start to have the freedom to live. If you've been following me, maybe you've seen some posts, I'm always talking about living beyond trauma. The reason I'm always saying that is because I come to the realization that oftentimes when we experience trauma, it can be hard for us to move beyond it. Maybe you might be saying like, oh, it no longer hurts me. I no longer feel pain. I no longer get angry about what happened, right? But if you take a good look at your life and you really are honest with yourself, are you truly living? Or are you bound by fear and anxiety? Are you bound by addiction? And addiction can be addiction to food, to sex, to alcohol, to porn, to coffee. Anything that you have to have to get your day going is an addiction. Unless it's the word of God, unless it's prayer, unless it's spend time with God, anything outside of that can be addictive. So if you're not living a life that is full of peace and joy, that is just a life that you don't need a vacation from, And I don't mean just by like a job that you love, but just a life that you enjoy living, then you are still bound by your trauma. And I'm here to tell you that there is a life beyond trauma. And you may not even be aware of the fact that you're bound by trauma. You might not even understand some of the decisions you make and some of the things that you experience or you come across is because of you still living in the trauma of what had happened to you. Maybe you may not think you are. Maybe you feel like, well, I moved on, I went to therapy, I'm good. Okay. But I want to encourage you to take a chance this year on yourself, right? And invest the time in yourself to really see if you are where you want to be. First of all, I mean being honest with yourself. And second of all, if you desire to be. And if you're honest with yourself and you feel like there's more, then set the time in your calendar, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This costs you nothing. I am bringing this teaching to you at no cost to you to be able to minister important to you so that you can have your freedom, so you can start your healing. Why? Because I know what it feels like to be on the other side. I'm walking that out now, living beyond trauma, walking in my healing journey. And the healing journey is a continuous process. It's a beautiful thing because I'm walking now in the wholeness of my healing journey. And so I want to bring people along with me on this journey. So I'm going to walk with you on this journey. And we're going to start at the very beginning, which is forgiveness. And I just want you to think about, what do you want from your life? Take that time to really, this is a new year, 2 weeks until a new year. Many people have set goals for this year. Maybe you did that last year. Maybe you haven't. I want to encourage you to make healing a goal. Set healing as a goal for yourself, and then set your reminder, your notifications for 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, whatever time 6:30 is on your side of town, wherever you're watching from. This is not a plug to get more viewers or subscribers. This is a genuine call to action for you to actively participate, start, and engage in your own life by living beyond trauma and starting your healing. I guarantee you will not end this year the same. And so next week we're going to talk about acknowledge, which is the first part of the triple A's of forgiveness. I hope to see you guys then. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and make sure you tell a friend. Sharing is caring. You never know who in your circle, who on your timeline may be going through some stuff and need an encouraging word, need some tools and tips on where to even begin to start their healing. Or maybe they don't even realize that healing is for them. Maybe they don't realize they need healing. Whatever the case may be, sharing vital information so that others can live is of no charge to you. So just, hey, do it, right? Thank you guys for tuning in. I wanted to make this brief because I'm going to do the deeper detailed teachings over the next several weeks. And this month, for the next 3 weeks, and actually it'll be a week going over into February. So we'll be doing 3 weeks leading to February. We're going to be talking about the triple A's of forgiveness. And so let the healing journey begin. And I thank you guys for your time. Make sure that you are being bold, you are being unashamed, and most importantly, you are being healed. I love you all, and thank you for tuning in once again. Don't take your time lightly. Peace out. Trauma and abuse affects everyone, and we all have a part to play to change the narrative with love.